Hello there everyone, welcome to the new video. In this video we are going to invoke the chain code, invoking the transactions using Fabric APIs. We are going to create one API which will invoke the chain code and add transaction data into the blockchain network. So let's jump into the VS code. So there are some other APIs as well, that is administrative APIs, while creating the channel, joining the channel, installing the chain code, instantiating the chain code. So there are 4 to 5 APIs here written, which we already have done through the CLI. I'm not going to hit these APIs again because we already created the channel, joined the channel, installed the chain code, instantiated chain code. These all the things we have already done. So in case if you want to do through the API, you can do that. Just explore these things. There are 4 to 5 functions already written. Creating the channel, so create channel.js file is there, so just explore that, you will get to know everything. Next one is the joining the channel. Another joining the channel is also JavaScript file is there. Installing the chain code and instantiating the chain code. All these APIs are written here. You can just go through that, how exactly it's working. You can go through that. Next one is the invoking the transaction on the chain code. So we are going to cover this part in this video. Coming to this diagram which we have already created initially, how transaction flow takes place, how these transactions get sent to the endorsing pairs, how the endorsement response sent to the client collect that endorsement response and send to the orderer as a invocation request, and the orderer send that invocation to all the committing pairs. So in the first phase, client send the transaction proposal to all the endorsing pair. Here in the first step, client send the transaction proposal to all the endorsing pairs. So endorsing pair create the endorsement response and send to the client again. Client here again wait until it gets sufficient endorsement response as per the endorsement policy defined, and if the client get the sufficient endorsement response, it create the invocation request by using this endorsement response, and this invocation request sent to the orderer. Again orderer collect that transaction, add into the block, and as per the batch timeout and batch size, it create the block and broadcast that block as an invocation to all the committing pair. And finally that committing pair verify that all these things and commit the transaction into the ledger. This is just normal transaction flow. So when we get a transaction by transaction ID, I will show exactly how transaction proposal looks like, what exactly endorsement pair add into the transaction proposal, how invocation request takes place, and the invocation. That all the things we are going to cover. But just for right now, assume that client is sending the transaction proposal, endorsing pair verifying that whether the client is authorized to perform that operation and endorse the transactions. As per the endorsement response, client wait for the sufficient endorsement and create the invocation request and send to the orderer. Orderer again create that block and broadcast that block to all the committing pair in the network. Coming to the invocation API, so here we have a route /channel, channel name, /chain code name. So we have to provide these parameters. Again we are going to hit the invoke chain code which is written inside this app folder. So I will go through invoke chain code once. From the top, inside this function, again we are getting a client object, creating the transaction ID, creating the request to send all the endorsing pairs, because before sending to the endorsing pair, client need to sign the transactions. So in this request we have some peers, means these are the endorsing peers by default. We will be getting this endorsing pair from the functions, so we will be sending this pair as a parameters. I will show you while invoking the transaction through the Postman what kind of parameters we are passing. This is the chain code ID, this is the function which we are going to invoke, this is the arguments chain code ID and the transactions ID. So here again, using this channel object which we got from the client object, we are sending the transaction proposal and we are waiting to get a endorsement response. Here we got a result because it's a asynchronous function, we are waiting for the response. Here we will get all the responses, we will check again all the as just before some time I explained that client wait until it gets sufficient endorsement response as per the endorsement policy. Let's assume we have a 3 endorsing pair and endorsement policy says that at least we should get 2 endorsement response. So client wait until it get at least 2 endorsement response, and once all the endorsement response we got, the client registered the commitment, client registered for the transaction event. Here we can see event hub. For each it's registering the transaction event, so that once the transaction get committed to the ledger, the client will get notified here. And here client have to create the orderer request like proposal response, proposals, that all the things they need to encapsulate in this orderer object. Later on, the client send that orderer request to the orderer, which we have created here, and wait for the response because we already registered the transaction events here. Yeah, so we will invoke the transaction through the Postman now. So make sure that your network is up and running. Just docker ps. Yeah, our network is already running, so make sure that server is also running here. nodemon app.js. Our server is also running now. I'm going through Postman. So as I already mentioned that this is the restricted API. This route is restricted. It means we have to add the JSON web token. The only API which is not restricted is /user, where user is registering. So we have to add that JSON web token in this request. So first we have to register user or sign in user. Maybe we can create another API for register as well. If user is already registered, it just return that JSON web token. It will not register again. This user we have already created. Maybe we can create another one. Sushil is the user we are going to register again, and we will be using this identity for invoking the transactions. Here you can see the logs on the server. Yeah, user is registered successfully, so we will use this token for invoking the transactions. So once at server side we verify that user is valid, and using this user we will sign the transactions at server side. Add car is there. So as I already mentioned here, our route is /channels localhost 4000 /channel, and this is the channel name, chain code, and this is the chain code name, Fabcar. And in the body function is the create car, which is mentioned inside the chain code. I will show you. Yeah, here create car is the function name, so this function will get triggered. Here we are providing the endorsing peers, so this transaction will get sent to these endorsing peers. Chain code name is the fab car, channel name is my channel, and arguments are, first one is the ID, so I am sending as a supercar. This is the model, I think, if I am not wrong. Yeah, the second argument is the first one is the key, second one is the model, third one is the, you can see that the first 0th argument is the key, first argument is the make, second argument is the model, third argument is the color, and fourth is the owner. Make, model, color, and owner. Make, model, color, and owner, and first argument is the key. These are the total 5 arguments we are going to send here. We can see, so I am hitting the send button, and we can see the log here as well on the server. This function will get triggered. Send. Yeah, we have invoked these transactions, so we can get this transaction by using transaction ID. Later we will implement the API for getting the transaction by transaction ID as well. And here we got a response, and we can see this car asset. Just check whether your CouchDB is running on specific port. Docker ps, you can see here your CouchDB is running, any CouchDB, just go 5984, or maybe CouchDB to 7984, 6984, 7984. These are the different ports which CouchDBs are running. So right now we will go to the 5984 port for the CouchDB 0. This is the local host 5984/_utils. Just type this, you will get the database. Yeah, there are multiple databases available here in this CouchDB which are related to Fabric network. Each database have some special purpose, but just for right now, just consider my channel _ fabcar. This is the database we will be storing our all the current state database, all the current state data. And the convention for the database name is channel name _ contract name, smart contract name. Right now here we can see supercar. This is the car just we invoked in our blockchain network. It's having ID supercar, color white, make Tesla, model F1 reloaded, owner is Pavan, and version. And this is the revision. It's a feature of CouchDB, that is a multi-version concurrency control. It means when we invoke the transactions on the same asset, let's assume that we are changing the ownership from Pavan to Sandeep, and the same transaction we are invoking. Now we can see here the revision will get changed to 2, and this will be the hash MD5 something, and the owner would be the Sandeep as per the new transaction. So I am again invoking this transaction with the new owner on the same asset, that is the supercar. We can see here. This transaction is also get invoked successfully. We can see in the browser. So I haven't refreshed this page, so I am refreshing. So the owner would be Sandeep as per the new transactions, and the revision would be 2. Yeah, this is the revision 2 and Sandeep. It means we have changed the ownership of the transactions, and CouchDB stores only the current state of that asset. not the history of that asset. The history will be saved into the blockchain. So in the blockchain there would be two transactions. First one is having ownership Pawan, and second one is the ownership having Sandeep. And the latest revision would be the 2. I will show you how to get a history for that any asset, but maybe in the later section. In this way we can invoke the transaction into the blockchain. That's it for this video. In case if you are finding any difficulty, just let me know. We will try to resolve that issue. In case you are new here, just make sure that you are following all the videos, and if you feel this video is useful, you can subscribe. It's not mandatory actually. That's it. Stay tuned for the more update.